Who have United got, Dan, at the weekend?
Liverpool away.
Oh, we didn't even touch on that? Wow. What do you reckon, quickly?
2-2.
Conte got push! Yes! Conte! Yes! Get in! This guy here!
Gets in.
The man who Man United wanted to sign!
2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2.
Here come Liverpool on the attack again, mate. Mo Salah's on a hat-trick. He plays it through. It's Firmino!
Yes!
It's 7! It's 7! And it's
Bobby! It's Bobby! Oh!
Roberto Firmino! 7-0! And it's Roberto Firmino! Oh!
1-0 Brighton as well. 1-0 against Brighton. I think we'll get a point up there.
4-0! 4-0! Embarrassing! Look at you, Moyes! Look at your wow.
I feel like people tend to over-exaggerate when it comes to Conte's football. There's more than one way to skin a cat.
Get them gone. Get rid of a lot of them. Get rid of Conte. Get rid of Stellini. Get rid of that rubbed out academy, whatever he is, Ryan Mason. Get rid of all of them. Get rid of them. Get rid of these guys before that AC Milan game. It's enough now. Get rid of them. I don't want to hear about no Daniel Levy today. I don't want to hear about no board nonsense. Get rid of all of these guys. Get rid of them.
I've lost my voice. This is what I've been waiting for. This is what we moved here for. Right? This was why I wanted to move here. I wanted to move here from the Highbury because we were told we were going to be competing. And I know we've only beat Bournemouth. I don't care who it is. The way this side is showing the mentality to come back in the last minute of that, the reaction of the fans, the reaction of the players, all of the subs on the bench, the manager coming running off the pitch. This is beautiful, Robbie.
We're going to do it.
Yes, I said after Manchester United we win the league. I stand by it, and that performance out there proves why we're going to do it, mate.
Two-all.
That's some bullshit.
What? Yes! You come across like that fucking wrestling fan that's like, it's still real to me, damn it! Fucking Bournemouth.
Why? I'm sitting there enjoying Dan. I'm like, yeah, someone else is getting it this week. And still I pop up. Like, I can't have a break. Every time these are done, I'm in it.
What a weekend. What a weekend. Big up my boy Sam Hart for clipping that together. Big up, man.
I need a copy of that. I need a copy. That needs to get clipped for the Twitter. I need a copy.
No, you don't.
Mate, we're all gonna have it. We're all gonna have it. Lawless is just unfortunate that out of the 5 clips we put together, he's been in every single one.
Yeah.
Welcome, people. Welcome back to the show. Great to see so many of you with us. This is going to be a fantastic show. I can feel it already. There's no real place to start other than at Anfield.
You don't want to start at Brighton? I mean, that was...
Well, I mean, I could have started anywhere, to be honest. I could have started at any of these clubs, to be fair. But we are going to start with Liverpool Man United. I was hosting it on DR Sports. It was a great one for me to actually sit there as a neutral. I, of course, wanted Liverpool to win. But I never thought it was going to be by that much. Oh, my God. Before I let Errol and Dan come in, I'm just going to let you three, Lawless, Pete, and Tobes. Like, what the hell? Did anyone even, like, predict a battering, let alone 7? Tobes, start with you, bro.
Nah, I didn't predict a battering. I predicted Liverpool to win, because I just thought Liverpool, little uptick in form, and United, when they've travelled away to the better sides in the league this season, they've just not been good enough. So I expected Liverpool to win it, but I didn't think it was going to be a battering. I thought Liverpool would edge it like a 2-1 or 3-1, but never in my wildest dreams did I see that capitulation in the second half. Like that was a biblical crashing, man. Like an absolute beatdown. it was god awful defending from Man United and just ruthlessness from Liverpool. So yeah.
I was baffled.
Go on, Lawless.
Sorry. No, I was just gonna say, I went into this game wanting Man United to win for the title race, right? And when that first goal went in, I was like, oh shit. Like, do you know what I mean? I thought it'd be a tough game. I thought maybe a draw or, but I thought, shit, come on in. Let's see if Man United can turn this around. And then as the goal started going, I was like, come on, let's have another one. Let's have another one. Let's keep going. Like, it just became so. I was hoping they'd break the record. Like, honestly, it was.
They could have.
Yeah,
They could have.
It could have. It was honestly. It comes so close, and I mean, a lot of players that Man United fans rave about. Obviously, Martinez did not cover themselves in glory. Bruno Fernandes, that little rat, diving around the place. Honestly, it's
embarrassing.
Absolute embarrassment of a player. Can't stand him. So, a lot of them players got their just desserts. But yeah, that's historic. 1931. That's the last time they got battered that bad, apparently.
Pete?
Wow.
You know what? Like the whole thing about it is that they were in the game at half time. They were in the game. Yeah, and people might disagree with me on this, but in the period in which Gakpo scored, it actually looked like Man U were going to score first.
100.
So it almost kind of came out of the blue a little bit, but that second half, it almost felt like I was watching the circus. It literally felt like I was watching the circus. Like some of that defending.
Or Newcastle started last season, I suppose.
Well, yeah, exactly. I've been watching the circus for 15 years. So you're not telling me. But at the same time, we never lost 7-0. So during that circus.
I love it.
We never lost 7-0 in our biggest game of the season. So for me, yeah.
Has Sunderland ever beat you 7-0, Pete? Have you ever lost 7-0 to Sunderland?
Like I said, we've never lost 7-0 in our biggest game, which is obviously their biggest game. But look, Dan's always going to come for me with little pop shots because he can't come for anyone else. I'm the new guy on the block, and I get that. But at the same time, we've never lost 7-0, and it was like watching the circus. It was embarrassing, and I'm not even a Man U fan, so there you go.
Well, one of the circus acts, Antony. I mean, wow, what an absolute joker this guy is. It's embarrassing how bad that guy is. It's taken Reece Nelson, who hasn't kicked the ball for what feels like forever, to create and score more chances and get more assists. Guy, absolutely embarrassing. And it's not just him, by the way. There's about 15, 16 players in the league done more than Antony that didn't cost 100 million. I don't know who to start with, really. I think I'm going to let Dan stew for a bit longer.
Yeah, let Errol go.
Errol, come on, man. You do what you want. You cook. The mic is yours, man. If you want to cook, Dan, you do what you got to do, man.
I said it to you in the group chat the other day. You've been merciful to me this season. You could have let me have it on many a weeks and you haven't. So there'll be levels to it, but hopefully when all said and done at the end of the season and we get our way into that top 4, I can cook a couple of man in here properly. But for now, you have to eat some humble pie. You have to, Dan. Like it has to be said. And as far as food goes, my nan's Jamaican. Like she cooks the best Sunday roasts on earth. But that Sunday roast the other day was something special. Toby said it was biblical. It was something special. It was delicious. I've never feasted that good in such a long time. I'm healthy right now. So the energy that I've got for you, Dan, is this. In reality, to Pete's point, you're 100% spot on. I thought first 15, 20 minutes, Liverpool seemed to be the team in control, but we wasn't the team that was creating clear-cut chances. We wasn't really testing that back line, and even furthermore, we wasn't testing De Gea. The chances that came that ultimately looked like they could have been converted were from that Bruno header that flashed past the post and from Rashford's chance. Now, I said it on the stream the other day, if Rashford didn't have the confidence or didn't have the goals under his belt that he's had in the last couple of weeks, he probably takes a touch there to steady himself and then tries to take it around Alisson. But because he's flying high on confidence, he just thought, I'm that guy. I'm the new CR7. Did you see R7? Because R7 was the one that was at the top of the screen. Did you see it at the top? That was R7. So Rashford just missed it. And as soon as he's missed this chance, it's curtains. And from there, I think that was the last chance he's had where he's looked threatening. And then Robbo, I mean, this guy, he's a left back. He's got more assists than Ozil, and he's got more assists than Hazard in the Premier League, in less games than Hazard as well. Like, he's ridiculous in terms of how good going forward he is. He's got to be up there in the conversation of all-time best left backs in the Premier League. Like, that's
after Ashley Cole, you reckon? Him and Ashley Cole?
Yeah, it's got. There's honestly,
I agree.
There's got to be an honest conversation. It doesn't have to be today, obviously, but there has to, at some point, there has to be a conversation about where he ranks and stats in terms of fullbacks in this Premier League now, because he's been absolutely incredible. And, you know, Dan mentioned about price tags before. We got him for less than like 7 mil, 8 mil, something like that, way back when. Like, that was bargain basement buys, and he's turned out to be a whale, Dan. He's been amazing. So once he cuts on the inside and he puts that through ball through, the man that Man U fans wanted, he was craving. Have you seen the amount of clips that were on YouTube? Welcome to Man U, Cody Gakpo. Welcome to Old Trafford. All of these clips that were out there. Man's dunking on you. He sent Varane for the L'Equipe and a baguette. He went to visit the Eiffel Tower, blood. And he just disappeared out of screen and off shot. It was painful to watch. This is the person that people have been telling me. Champions League Varane. Champions League Varane got sent packing. He got put on that Eurostar and sent back to Paris. You see that? Back to Paris. That's where man got sent to. That was for the first goal. And then from there, I just felt like Liverpool. Again, another thing I said on the stream, I was like, right, the reality of the situation is there's been games, and Dan will know this, the Arsenal game, if it might have been last season, when Arteta's give it beans to Klopp on the touchline, and all of a sudden you can see the crowd get really behind it, and it's done something to the team, and it's inspired the team to kick on. There was nothing. There was no catalyst. There was no catalyst for the abuse. It's like, you know, when you've been a youth and you've been naughty a couple of days ago, and your mum or your dad are still pissed off at you, but you've been grounded, so you've not really been able to do nothing. You're not really able to move. You've not been on the PlayStation. You've not been doing up FIFA. But out of nowhere, there's just a bolt of a slipper or a belt across your ass just because they're still feeling a certain kind of way. That's how it was. There was no warning signs for using that second half. It was just round after round after round, beating after beating after beating. And it was so sweet to watch. I've waited all. Someone's been due it. Bournemouth got 9-0 at the start of the season. It meant nothing because we was in a shit vein of form. Somebody has been on the receiving end of a hiding from this Liverpool team all season, and it couldn't have happened to a better team, to be honest with you. Like that like, you can inject that into our veins. Like, historically speaking now, I get to sit and talk to my son and tell him about the day that we beat Man U 7-0. 7-0 at Anfield. They rocked up with chest and got sent packing to Paris. Like, just disappeared. Do you know what I mean? And Man U fans, Dan, you might have to tell your kids about the time, and you might look at you differently. You might actually look at you differently and think, why do I have to do that? Like, why? And I'll hold it there because there's plenty to unpack. But the two players from your team that you should be ashamed of is Antony and Bruno. Those two players. I forgot the butcher. The butcher that doesn't like halal just turned around and was like, nah, can't deal with Salah. Like, and this isn't even me waxing lyrical about the players that we had on the day, because again, Harvey Elliott, that was a big call, a massive call to put him in. Everybody, all the Liverpool fans, all stream were shouting for Stefan Bajcetic. We left him out. We didn't put him in there. We put Harvey Elliott in there, and he fully justified it. I feel like you've got to put a lot of respect on what those Liverpool players did, given everything that they've been through this season. To step up and perform like that against your biggest rival, it's a massive, and it's a big sign. It's a big sign to Tobe's team. It's a big sign to Pete's team. It's a big sign to the Chelseas, to the other teams that are fighting for that top four. That I've said it all season. As much as we've been poor, we remain one of the only teams that can put in a 10 winning streak run out of the teams that I've seen. City can do it, and Arsenal have proved to be able to do it so far this season where it's needed. But Liverpool have had those minerals. The question now is, are those minerals coming back? That's a 5th game in the Premier League where we've kept a clean sheet. Now that means we can kick on. We've won 4 games and we've drew 1. So there's a big opportunity for us to continue to kick on and go on that unbeaten run. If we do, we've got 1 game in hand. If we get that, then we're ahead of Toby's team on goal difference. It's looking healthy for Liverpool right now. And I've not had many opportunities on this stream to be able to say that this season. We're having to claw it back. but it's there. And a result like that, the belief in that team and those players, they've got every reason to believe that they can go on and achieve at least top 4 now.
Fair play, man. You must be buzzing, bro. You must be buzzing. I would be if I would have done that to Tottenham at 7-0. Wow, unbelievable, man. Dan, I see an article today. I don't know how true it is. That Ten Hag went in and said,
"Let me say one last thing as well. One last thing. What the fuck was Weghorst doing? What was he doing? How are you gonna do that, bro? Like, how are you gonna come to Anfield and move like a day tripper, like you're doing up a club tour? You can't do that. That's sacrilege. That is sacrilege. But that's you can't do that. And for the Geordie telling me to calm down, I honestly, if as long as we get top 4, I don't care if we lost another game this season. We can't do that. We've got to go and win. But if you was to spank Sunderland 7-0 or your biggest rivals, you telling me you're going to be calm? Please.
Hey, Errol, you carry on, bro. You carry on.
You carry on, indeed, man.
The Weghorst thing was the last straw for me.
I was actually going to bring it up, man, because I'm sick and tired of this talk of this guy who's apparently like the next Kevin De Bruyne in the number 10 position now. It's bizarre to me. I don't understand this. Anyway, Dan, I'm going to come to you because there was an article I read today, right, that said that Ten Hag was that pissed that he came in at half time, said he was going to play the reserves in the next game. Like, Errol picked out 2 players. I could have picked out about 5 that was shocking, mate. So the mic's yours, bro. Like, honestly, what are you thinking right now? Is he doing that on purpose?
Yeah, of course I'm doing it on purpose. I have no fucking voice, have I? Look, at the end of the day, if I was in Errol's shoes, I'd be doing the exact same thing. So I'm not going to sit here and take it personally. You can't. You really can't. There's nothing, no coming back from that performance. There's no hiding from that performance. It wasn't even a performance. You know, I manage a Sunday League team, right? And my boys that morning could have absolutely walloped United that day. Can I say something without sounding silly? No, you've had your
no. Just to let you know, you're my stepson now. For the foreseeable future, you're my stepson.
You better hope you get top 4, boy. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to bite too much, but you better hope you get top 4 because you don't get fucking trophies for 7-0. Trust me. Okay? Trust me. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. I'm happy. Well, I'm not happy for you, but enjoy it. Own it like you should. If you don't get top 4 and you've just give that fucking Whitney Houston fucking Oscar-winning speech there about Paris, about fucking touching the sign, I'm coming for you, mate. Okay. Now look, let's look at facts. The facts are a lot of players turned up at Anfield and were eaten up by the atmosphere. 100%. Your boys, your fans. I've watched Liverpool play a few times this season. When they sang "You'll Never Walk Alone," I sat there. I thought they are so fucking up for this right now. Those fans, I liken it to how Newcastle fans are. Newcastle fans, they just fucking breathe on you. And that was the same with Liverpool. And I said to my wife, because I was quite smart. I was going to watch it at the pub. I'm so fucking glad I didn't because I'd have been banned by the end of it. I went and lay on the sofa and watched with my wife. And I said to her, I'm not feeling confident here. Even the first 45 minutes, yeah, we were in it. But, man, the first 20 minutes, you were just there. You were just there, and you look at. I still call this one of the best derbies in the world. I fucking love it. It's, you know, regardless of the 7-0, I love these games. The first 30 seconds, Liverpool, bang, were on it, and I thought, bollocks. I didn't envisage 7-0. I don't think any Manchester United fan, any Liverpool fan that sits there and says, I could see us doing 7, they're lying. No one predicted this. Okay, no one predicted this. The fact of the matter is, I have to take something from this. And the only thing I can take from this is Ten Hag. There's 2 things I'll take from this. First of all, we'll go negative first and positive. Negative was naivety. I watched him pull players off because he was pissed off with them. You can't do that in the Premier League. You can't do that. If they're playing, well, they were all playing. You could have subbed the whole fucking team. He pulled people off and moved Luke Shaw into left centre-back. Now, Luke Shaw's had a good season. For the 6th goal, I don't even know what he's doing. It's like he's just kicking the ball against the wall. Instead of absolutely welling that ball out, their heads are gone by then. The positive with it is is that I've seen us lose 6-3 against Southampton. I've seen us get dicked by Tottenham a couple of seasons ago. I've seen us get dicked by City when Fergie was in charge. This is where a good manager earns his fucking crust. And this is where you know if this manager's going to do anything with his team. Because I tell you what, if this would have been Ollie in charge, if this would have been Ralph still in charge, if this would have been Jose in charge, if this would have been Ranić in charge, I'd be worried. I'd be really worried. I can sit here and honestly tell you I'm not worried. I'm not. At the end of the day, one game does not define a whole season. And I flipped that back to Liverpool. Because this game hasn't defined your whole season. Do you know what I'm saying? You're out of all the cups. I mean, you obviously got Real Madrid. They beat you 5-2. That's not a dig. This game does not. This game will not define a season. For me, it won't. There's still plenty of football left. Hang on. Hang on. For me, it's what happened. For me, the most perfect thing about us losing like that is that we've got a game straight away. And we have to have a game straight away. If we have a week off, the players stew about it, it goes to shit. You have to get back on that pitch straight away. Okay? There's no hiding from this performance. There's no hiding whatsoever. The players can get their PR guys out there and saying, "Oh, you know, the fans deserve better bollocks." I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear a single player come out and say anything. For me, it's what happens in the next game now. Okay? And I don't care if people want to say, "You'll never forget this." You're right. I'll never forget it. But as far as the season goes, this result will not define our season. We're third in the table. We're still in 2 more cups. We've won 1. I won't have people say this was an off day. I won't have people say that. There's obviously something there. There's something there with some personalities. Bruno, I mean, Lawless called him a rat. I still love the bloke, but what he did on Sunday was disgraceful. Should have been sent off in my eyes for the push on the linesman. Regardless of what you do not put your hands on an official, okay? You learn that as a child. So for him to act like that, I think just spat all over the credibility of every captain that Manchester United have ever had, okay? You're a captain of one of the biggest clubs in the world, okay? You act like it. You do not piss over it, and you do not be as petulant as that. And I tell you something, everyone has given Harry Maguire absolute shit for the last 18 months. Oh, he shouldn't be captain. He shouldn't be this. He shouldn't be that. Harry Maguire would never have been that disrespectful. Harry Maguire would never, ever, ever have been that disrespectful. Now, for me, is it something as sharp as do we drop him as captain? I actually think we drop him from the team for a game. And I mean that because you cannot react the way that he did, okay? I think there was a lot of emotion there with the players. So what? It's on you. It's on you. The emotion should be to try and get something from the game, not act like fucking morons. Not act like morons.
There was no game management though from you or anything, Dan. You didn't
sense there wasn't. The first half,
there was no alarm bells ringing, thinking we've been here before. Where have we seen this result before? Because it's been 4-2, it's been 5-0, it's been whatever. There's no self-awareness of the situation you're in at this moment in time, or at that particular moment in time. You were in the Lions' den. You were getting fed to the wolves. Like it was peak settings for the entirety of that team, and no one from the front to back looked at each other and said, "Boys, let's fix up." I almost likened it to the fact that
let's tighten up. That's the thing they should have done. It's as simple as that. 3-0. I'd have been pissed. Just shut up, Shaw. Just shut up. And that's the naivety I talk about. That's
I think he was torn between. I think he was torn between having the PTSD and the flashbacks of not necessarily having that mental resilience of what Ten Hag's tried to deeply instill this season, and being where Ollie was for so long, because it's, at the end of the day, he's haven't been a formidable force as a team and as a club for a number of years now. So when the going gets tough, your guys haven't been able to get going with it more often than not. So it's been a hindrance to you, and as a result of that, you were caught within that mindset, and then also caught within the mindset of, but let's try and see out the instructions that our new boss has given us. And because you weren't playing either to any of those strengths of, oh, we've seen this, when shit's going wrong, let's kind of shut up shop, and if we do get the chance to pick them on a counter, go for it. You didn't do either, and because you were caught between styles in that moment for 45 minutes, you've been caught between styles, and you've just been getting picked off every couple of minutes. We was just sensing blood and we was picking his off. The one point that I'd rebuttal from your not necessarily Oscar-winning speech, but your speech.
That wasn't an Oscar-winning speech, mate. That was a fucking meltdown. Come on.
It was one of
I'm not even angry anymore. I've got no anger left in me, honestly. I just...
No, but the one thing I would say is it doesn't define our season winning 7-0. But what it can be with the amount of games left that are available to us. If that would have been 3 games left and it would have been 7-0, it's like, right, well, that's a nice sign-off for the season. Then, the season's been shit. We've not hit any of our targets. We're 4 points off top 4. We can't get it anymore. But that was a nice way to kind of give something back to the fans at home one last time, maybe. The fact that there's still so enough games to play that it's practical for us to get top 4, that can be the catalyst for our season. Mentality-wise, it can also be, and this is what you said about obviously getting back on the horse and playing so soon, it can be damaging to you. So even though it doesn't define your season, you're at the very top of what I would like to consider a very slippery slope right now. You can either come crashing down and make yourselves have an awful end to the season off the back of this, if people's minds aren't in the right place, if your players' personalities start to show the ugly sides all over again, and you can have a rough couple of weeks, and then before you know it, the games have gone, time's running out, and you can't fix the season. You might be out of 2 cups. You might have slipped up in form. You're only 7 points clear of Liverpool now. Do you know what I mean? We know how damaging 7 can be. The reality is, it can be the other way for Liverpool now. This can be the foundation and the catalyst and the springboard for us to kick on and say, 5 clean sheets, no team scoring past us. We're getting players back. Konate, Van Dijk looks like a proper centre-back partnership and pairing. And the rest of the team now, there's a little bit of belief that the likes of Fabinho starting to show a little bit more of his old self. Henderson, his game management has now been managed better, so he's actually been able to put a higher level of output out. We've got the likes of Harvey Elliott or Stefan Bajcetic as options in the centre of mid. Thiago's going to come back. And finally, that front 3, with hopefully the inclusion of the likes of Jota and Diaz, when he comes back, is now started to find a little bit of a chemistry. They've got that fluidity between them. They look frightening the other day. Like, that front 3 looked frightening. I know, Dan, you've been someone who's kind of stuck behind Nunes all season. I know a lot of people have kind of written him off. A lot of people like to banter, but he is an absolute monster. He's a fucking merchant of chaos.
I like him, man.
I like him, bro. You can't not like him. He's any.
I can quite easily.
Well, you wanted him. Your lads wanted him.
Whoa! I say that I didn't want him.
That's fair enough. But in terms of, if you take his name away from him, in terms of his personality traits and his attributes and what he actually does on the pitch for a team, any of the top 6, any of us lads here in this panel would have him starting for their clubs respectively. We just would. He's a handful. He's a nuisance. He's hard work, and he's got output. He bangs. And at the end of the day, you've still got someone like Salah, all-time Liverpool Prem goal scorer. Now, for me, that's a bit of a weird one. It highlights one or two things. A, it's quality from him, but B, how poor some of our strikers have been in the 30-odd years that the Prem's been here. If he's the top goal scorer.
Hasn't he just overtaken Fowler?
That's what I mean. As much as I can celebrate it, it's still a little bit of a mad one for me, if I'm completely honest. But honest to God, those from 3 are frightening now. And the fact
that get top 4 now.
We've got as good a chance now as we've had all season, mate. You've got to back us at this point.
I agree with that.
You've got to back us at this point. Like, you know what I mean? Teams around us are starting to show in different form, and we're starting to become the form team in and around that top 4. If we get another 5 games down, don't get me wrong, the next month for us game-wise is hard. Arsenal are coming up. We've got City. We've got City to come up. I think we've got Spurs as well. There's still a couple of other teams there that will love to ruin the top 4 party. But that's why I said that result against Man U, considering the trajectory they've been on, will have Arsenal thinking, how do we approach this game differently now? It'll have Conte and Spurs thinking, do we approach this game differently now? It'll also have City thinking, do we approach this game differently now? So there's no free hit where you can go and output at Liverpool and think, we can just turn up today. Everybody's going to have to go back and do their homework, because there are threats all over the pitch for Liverpool now, from fullbacks to the centre of the park to the forwards that we can use. And
I think the thing United may have fallen into players-wise for me, and you touched on it there, because of the form we've had all season, I think it's that almost we can go toe to toe with anyone. And I think it's good having that mentality. That's what's gotten us out of a lot of games. We got over the finish line with a lot of them. But there was just unbelievable mistakes from start to finish. Bringing Scott McTominay on, who, by the way, Pete, if Newcastle wants Scott McTominay, Jesus Christ, mate, honestly.
No Newcastle fan wants Scott McTominay.
Commiserations, mate.
We don't.
Anthony, look... Anthony's one of them, isn't he? I'll be honest with you. It's the same as, and this is what irritates me a little bit. You all know I'm not his fan. You all know I don't like him. I don't like him. But have you seen his stats compared to Grealish all season?
No,
he's got a better conversion rate and I'm not backing him here in that sense. But what I'm saying is, everyone goes for Anthony because of that video of the fucking spinny thing. I know how bad he's been, and Sunday was.
I'm not letting you have that.
Let me finish. Go on. I can't have a point here. Every time I go to talk, go on.
Have your point, but Gakpo's coming and he's got fucking better numbers than him. Gakpo's only been here for 2 months.
Gakpo's shit. I'm joking. No, what I'm saying is with the whole Antony thing that irritates me is I don't understand where he fits into a Premier League side. I'm just trying to state here. I don't know where he fits into a Manchester United side. I don't know where he would play in the Premier League and look a decent player. I don't. And my only worry with Antony now is, and I think this is the problem with Ten Hag with him. Ten Hag's going to die on his sword with him because he's brought him in because he begged for the fucking player because he begged for the money for it, and that's a big worry because for me. I'd have chucked Sancho on at halftime. I'd have chucked Sancho on after 12 minutes. Honestly, he can't use his right foot. He's lightweight. He's petulant. I only second to fucking Fernandez on that day. I don't know about you boys. I don't think he's got any pace whatsoever. I've not seen him outrun anyone this season.
He doesn't try to. He doesn't try to do that though. That's not his game.
Well, why is Sancho not playing, Dan?
I don't know.
I don't get it. He's a quality player. He's another player that lacks pace, and that surprised me when he came from Dortmund. He wasn't as quick. But this is the thing. Technically, he absolutely is light years ahead.
If you're going to use Antony with his left foot, chuck him on the fucking left where he can do something with his left foot. Too many times. How many times did Van Dijk have the ball? Van Dijk didn't have to jump for half of the fucking things he was putting in there.
So what's going to change with him doing that on the left-hand side?
No, I'm not saying it's good. All I'm saying is if you're gonna try and use him with his left foot, put him on the fucking left because Tobes, every time he's on the right, you know what he's gonna do. He's gonna cut in and shoot. It's like watching the fucking idiot kids at school on the playground who's fucking shit. They're just gonna try and hit it as hard as they can. Nothing else.
I heard Carlos Ancelotti rang up the Brazilian FA and told him to revoke his passport as well because he's not Brazilian. He's a fucking fraud, mate. There's no way a man called Antony is Brazilian. There's nothing Brazilian about him. Nothing. There's not a thing that's Brazilian about him.
He's the only signing I would say that Ten Hag's made that I'm like, what? Most of the others have actually been all right.
I put the tweet out. He's up there for flop of the season.
No, he's not up there. He's the top. He's there.
Right. Pound for pound. He's the flop of the season. I'm sorry.
That price tag's good. That price tag's going to end his career at Man United before it's even started because everyone's on him now. When you spend that sort of money on a player, everybody's looking at you to produce the goods week in, week out. And once you stop doing that, we had an okay start, and then you saw this little spinny thing. Like I said, I wasn't saying he was amazing. I said he had an okay start. He had a couple of games where he looked okay, but once he started doing that spinny thing and the media started jumping on it, the price tag comes out, the form starts to dip after the honeymoon period kind of disappears. And now this is what you've got. Do you genuinely see Antony getting any better within the next 6 to 8 months? Because I don't. And I don't think you do, Dan, because of how you've just kind of talked about him. So it's a bad signing. But it's one of them. If it had been signed for 50 million cheaper, he probably would have been given a little bit more time. He was never ever an 80-90 million pound.
The thing is, and this is
you're right. Only been signed by that because he was Man United.
You're right, and the thing is, this is what irritates me. Right, is he comes out with chest all the time on that pitch. He struts around the fucking field. Don't fucking try and and I know through his people he's released they're feeding out as they do on social media. It wasn't his fault for the price tag. Fuck you, right? Fuck you. If you walk out with chest every fucking game, and as Pete said, you do the spin against fucking a team that fucking don't even call them a team, right? If you do that and you try and do the whole but it's not my fault. No, you come out and you own that fucking price tag and you show the fucking world I'm fucking here. You put on the biggest stage in the world. The Premiership is the best league in the world, without a doubt. You fucking own it. Garnacho has done more than that bloke has all season.
Yeah.
Garnacho.
Even go to the dentist.
Oh, come on now. You lot know about a fucking dentist with Suarez, didn't you? You fucking...
Last question before we move on. Which was your favourite goal, panel?
The third goal. The
third one. Cody Gakpo's third.
Gakpo's
second goal. I love that one because it was I think it was Antony who got beat for the was it him who got beat for the 50-50? I can't even remember, but someone got beat for a 50-50 and Gakpo gets the ball to Salah, and I just love the way Mo Salah just toyed with Lisandro. Like, don't get it twisted. Lisandro is a quality centre back.
Where was he running, man? Was he running back to Ajax?
Mate,
what's going on, man?
Mo Salah chopped and screwed and discombobulated his brain. Like, it was brilliant to see. And then the finish from Gakpo was crazy. To dink it the way he did, instinctive as well. Like, that was a quality finish. So for me, that was the best goal of the game. But my goodness, there were so many strippers on the night. So many.
Talk on Weghorst, Topes, quick, because I don't get this love for this guy, man. Like, this much. Like, I don't mind him. I don't even hate the guy. I just don't like the reaction. Weggy.
I saw a video against West Ham. They were like, "Oh, this is why he's in the team," and it's just like a 2-minute comp of him just laying off the ball for people, and I'm like, I just had to laugh. I said, like, this is the standard that they've actually had to drop to. This guy, like, I don't even have an agenda against Weghorst because I have to maintain. I actually liked this guy before he joined.
Same.
He looked like a decent player, but he didn't score. He scored like 1 goal in like 20 appearances for Burnley. He's now gone to Man United as a backup striker. He is not a goal threat whatsoever. He doesn't score. So now, because the manager's found a way in the team where, like, you're still shit, but because you can run, you can offer us a little bit something. Oh, he's good. Oh, revelation. Oh, Weggy. The guy is crap. What are they calling him? Wellington. I saw it. He's shit. Even the game against Liverpool, I counted like 2 or 3 opportunities where a normal number 10 is sliding in their player, but not Weghorst. Dolls and doesn't pass the ball. He was useless, a complete non-entity. Like, I'm seeing United fans furious that he touched the Anfield logo. I'm like, okay, maybe I don't understand the sentiment behind that because I'm not a Man United fan or a Liverpool fan. But I would be more annoyed with his performance than that because he was fucking atrocious. He didn't do anything. And he's taken up a spot in a game of this magnitude. Weghorst, I'll repeat. So I want it abundantly clear. Wout Weghorst has absolutely no business playing for Man United in any capacity. As a starter, as a sub, as a reserve player, he is nowhere near good enough to play for Man United. And the fact that he's playing says more about the options Man United have available than him as a player.
But it's been working, though. Like, you can say all of that, but until that game, it's been effective. They won a trophy. He's been. Ten Hag obviously thinks so, doesn't he? Ten Hag obviously thinks so. That's why he keeps playing him there.
Ten Hag doesn't think. Ten Hag has no other option. Yeah, he couldn't throw Sancho. Sancho's only just come back from whatever he was doing. He can't just throw Sancho into a cauldron of a game like Anfield. He can't start Garnacho there as well because of the same circumstances. Sancho, you can't play a kid in Garnacho in that atmosphere. He's going to get chewed alive. So his only other option is to play Weghorst. Weghorst had to start because Martial's injured. So Weghorst was either going to play up top or he was going to play in number 10.
But I'm saying leading up to that game, Man United have been doing well with Weghorst.
Oh, really? Okay, so let me list you the games. Against Newcastle, Pete, do you think that they beat you with or without? Do you think that if Weghorst didn't play that game, they would have beat you?
I personally didn't see him do anything of any note. It was, for me, Casemiro and Rashford were the two main guys that destroyed.
I can't do.
West Ham.
Why don't you let? No.
I'm asking you a question. West Ham, they beat you 3-1 the other day. Do they win that game without Weghorst?
Yeah, they win it without Weghorst, but they win it without a lot of players. They win it without a lot of players. They win it out that little shit Garnacho. It's a stupid point. It's a stupid point.
You just said
you could take De Gea out of that team.
So I said what has been working? He's shit.
But I'm saying, Tobes, take De Gea out.
He's shit.
Name me any one of their players, right, in that team. They win without them players, right? They win without Martinez, right? Take him out. They take De Gea out.
In recent weeks would have struggled to win as many games as they have done without Bruno.
No, but you're talking about individual games.
Without Martinez, without Casemiro. If those guys weren't playing in recent weeks, they don't win as many games as they do.
It's funny how you don't want to go to Dan, innit? You don't want to go to Dan when you're asking about Weghorst, do you?
I don't understand it because you're going about Weghorst, but you paid 60 million for Richarlison, who has done fuck all this season.
Don't even try
it. You may think he's better, but what's he done then? What's he done this season?
Don't even try it.
What's he done this season? I'll tell you what he's done. I'll tell you what he's famous for. Ripping his shirt off after a goal and getting a yellow card. That's all I remember of that bloke.
Don't even try it. This guy scored 1 goal in 20 appearances for Burnley.
Brilliant. Fantastic. How many goals has Richarlison scored this season for you? Bearing in mind, we got him on loan, by the way, and you paid 60 million for Richarlison.
Yeah, we did pay 60 million. And he's
done?
Been poor this season. No. He's been poor this season. But you are seriously having a laugh if you genuinely believe that Weghorst is better than Richarlison.
No, I don't. Genuinely. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said what's Richarlison done this season?
But the difference between me and you is I won't dispute that Richarlison's been poor, but there are extenuating circumstances for that. I'm actually telling you that Weghorst is shit, and you're denying.
What are the circumstances with Richarlison then?
What do you mean? What the circumstances with Richarlison? He's played 660 minutes, and he's missed like 2 to 3 months of football.
And when he's come into the team, has he lit the place up?
No, I just said he's been crap. I literally just said he's been crap. I won't fight you. If you tell me that Richarlison's been poor, but I'm telling you that Weghorst is crap and has no business playing for Man United, and you're fighting me on that.
But he's been playing for Man United, and they've been winning though. He's been playing for Man United, been winning. So what's the problem?
Exactly. If we'd been getting fucking hits every week, who plays then? Who plays instead of him then?
You're fucking gonna win without him.
Who plays instead of him then?
What do you mean? Who plays instead of him?
Who plays instead of him?
I don't understand the question.
Well, so you say that
Rashford up top and Sancho on the wide area.
It's not just away from him. I'm saying I can understand why Weghorst has to play games because Martial's crocked, and some of these other players are either too young or they just come back from injury or whatever it was that they were dealing with. In Sancho's case, what I'm saying to you is I don't understand the hype. I don't understand the hype.
I've seen goals that Weghorst has played a big part in.
Thank you very much.
In his industrious work, his off the ball work,
Yeah,
everything that he does.
You
tell me that Souček was better than Bentancur. What do you know about quality
players? What
do you know about quality players?
It's everyone plays a role, Toes.
Listen to what you just said. We're talking about Man United, and you're telling me about his industry. He's playing as a 10.
But it's working. It's effective.
You're telling me about his industry.
Who gives a shit? It works.
Over, man, please.
He's played a big part in goals, Tobes. He's played a part in goals.
I'm gonna even find how many minutes he's played.
You've got an agenda. Let's just make it abundantly clear. You're using this one game to go at him.
So let me tell you this, right? Let me tell you this. So
go to Google.
So no, don't say go to Google. Dan said, what's the extenuating circumstances for Weghorst? What's the extenuating circumstances for Weghorst? Weghorst has been in this league since the end of January, and he's only played 100 minutes less than Richarlison, who's been in this team how many months? Richarlison has played 660 minutes this season, but you're telling me that there's no context. You're telling me that there's no context.
How much has he contributed to the team? How many goals?
Exactly.
How much is he when
look
he's
at
on the
look at these stats. So let me look at these stats. Weghorst, 7 games, 0 goals, 1 assist. Richarlison, 17, 0 goals, 2
But the
assists.
thing is, Tobes, you can look at it. Okay, he hasn't got
that one's
assists.
playing poorly, but you want me to load up the other.
But I've
The other
watched
that
him with
actually
my
started
eyes.
it.
Just because he didn't get the ball to the striker doesn't mean he didn't play a key part in that goal.
Why are we arguing this? Weghorst is not good.
I'm
He's
just
not good.
saying you're picking the
I
wrong
don't
battle
understand. He's
because
not
it's been
good.
effective.
Why are you fighting me on this? Why is this getting pushed back? This guy is not good. Did you watch the game the other day? Did you watch the game? Every single time.
Who was good?
Who was 10 seconds to move it. He's not good.
Who was good?
Not a good
Who
player.
was good for Man United? Who was good in that game? Who?
So are you saying
Who?
if Weghorst wasn't on the pitch, United would have done better? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying.
Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted.
I'm saying he's fucking shit.
Let's talk about great. Let's talk about world class forwards for the second year. Where does Salah rank in all
Can't believe
time?
this.
In
What the
all
fuck, we have a
time
record.
forwards in the Prem?
Weghorst.
He's in the conversation. He's in the
just
conversation.
saying, man.
He's in the conversation, Dan. For you.
Salah, yeah. I love him, man. I think he's class.
He's good. Not for me, but hear me out. Because hang on, wait. Because in my eyes, world class is top 3. I mean, if you go in top 5, top 6, top 7, whatever, but top 3 for me, he's not in top 3. He's not in top 3
in the Premier League all time.
Yeah.
I forgot. I didn't hear the question. What was it?
Where does Salah rank in terms of all time Premier League forwards?
He's not in the top 3.
I see him as a wide forward, though. So I don't see him as.
Are you talking wide forwards or strikers? Because
Wide forwards,
strikers as well.
Harold, do you mean strikers or
No,
wingers?
he's a wide forward. He's never been deployed as a.
He's
as
wide
a
forward.
If
Yeah,
we're talking wide forward, he's definitely in top 3.
Yeah, he is 100.
Yeah,
Ronaldo, Salah, Giggs. It's all it's them guys, isn't it? 100%, man. Yeah, 100. I love Salah. I always have. I think he's
100%
ridiculous,
top 3.
mate. Ridiculous, man. We got to move. Where do we go next? Do we go Tobes? Do you want to go first, or do you want Lawless to go first?
I don't really care, man. Let's go Lawless. Let's go Lawless.
Lawless.
He's feeling salty over the Weghorst.
I don't care. Weghorst is shit. I don't need.
The worst thing is, it's making me look. I'm fucking saying he's quality, and I'm not saying that. I'm just.
what are you saying?
I'm saying
Is
you're coming
Wout
after
Weghorst shit?
Weghorst
Yes
when
or
you've
no?
got fucking Richarlison, who's
Wout
fucking
Weghorst shit?
crap.
Is Wout Weghorst shit? Yes or no?
Yes, he's shit. Yeah.
There you go. Case closed.
Is Richarlison shit?
No, he isn't.
Ah.
Let's move, man. Let's move. We're gonna be here all day. We're gonna be here all day. Lawless, can you explain to me? Lawless is gone. Can you explain to me in your?
Thank you.
Can you explain to me in your own words, Lawless, why you lost 4-0 with Areola, who you wanted in goal, Aguero,
Here we
who you
go.
wanted at the back, Paqueta, who you wanted in midfield, Benrahma, who you wanted on the wing, Danny Ings, who you wanted up top? Like, why did you lose 4-0 then, man? If it was Moyes, then what's with it? Like, because these players come in, did they not? And you still lost 4-0, man. What's actually happening at your club?
And 3-1 in the FA Cup as well. Sorry, just carry on.
Yeah, I will add that as well. You're out the FA Cup as well, which you said that was the only way Moyes was going to stay is if you won that.
2 words.
He's going to stay because they're going to win the Conference League.
No, you don't stay on the back of the Conference League. He don't
Why?
stay on the. He don't stay
Yes,
on the
he
back of
does.
a Conference
Yes, he
League.
will.
No,
Why
he
not?
doesn't. No, he
Why not?
doesn't.
You
That's
told
not
us that
enough.
The Conference League is just as you basically put on the same pedestal as the Europa League.
Don't matter.
And the Champions League.
Lawless,
don't
you
matter.
don't want him to stay. You don't want
Why
him to
would that
stay.
not
But
be enough
No, he
for
doesn't.
the club can't justify getting rid of him. If
Of course they can. Of course they
Preach
can.
it, Pete. Preach it, Pete.
Of course.
100%.
Look, honestly, and that means you've won a trophy, which is what you've been saying all season, that European trophy. So
You better hope he wins it as well.
You're doing that, Lawrence, but you said you were going to come for everyone on the panel
I will.
if you win that European trophy. So therefore, you can't say you're coming for everyone because you've won that European trophy, and then in the same breath say that Moyes has to leave. Moyes is staying at the club. He'll probably even get a new contract.
No.
Get a new contract.
No. Sorry.
I know you don't want it. You don't want
Sorry.
to hear it, Lawless, but
No.
there's no way that your owners will sack Moyes off the back of winning the Europa Conference. No way. Guys,
That's
am
bullshit.
I wrong? Do any of you guys
You're
agree?
not wrong. You're
Oh my
absolutely spot
God.
on.
Or disagree?
Spot on.
The comments are talking shit. Pete's talking shit. Tobes is just always talking shit.
Lawless,
right?
Lawless.
Dan's about to talk shit.
No, not Lawless. Honest question. For me, if they were going to get rid of him, and if they're not banking on him winning that cup, wouldn't they have got rid of him by now?
Yes. No, because they don't know. Because they are thinking that there's no one else out there right now to steer us out of this relegation battle. They are keeping him, and the words that have come out several times is, if they were looking to bring in a manager to get us out of this shit, David Moyes is the man they would choose, right? If they was bringing another manager. So they've got the guy they want to steer us out of relegation battle. That's why he's here, not because of the Conference League or anything like that, right? If we win the Conference League, yeah, I don't know why he's talking. As a Palace fan, don't know why you're talking, mate. I don't know why. You're in a relegation battle too, so but
D,
look,
man, it's D.
Yeah, I know it's D. I know it's
All
D.
right.
It's deluded D. You know what I mean? He's in a relegation battle and he's coming for me.
That could be applied to you, deluded D.
Nah. Mate, you're deluded T then, mate. You're deluded T. Yeah, deluded T. Deluded T.
You've got problems upstairs.
No. Listen.
How long has he got left on his contract?
He's after this season, he's got one more year. So this is the thing. If we keep Moyes, we can all say, on paper, if he wins that Conference League, how could you sack him? He's won a trophy. Doesn't matter, because this is about the long-term future of West Ham United, yes? The long-term sustainability. And David Moyes is counterproductive to the long-term future of our club. Trophy or no trophy. What happens next season is key. If he keeps us up just barely, then we've got something we can look and go, cool, new manager. Let's get them in. Let's build. You cannot spend £200 million, yeah, and get a team from Europe into a relegation battle. You can't do it. I'm sorry, that's unforgivable. And this isn't just a blip, yeah. People wanted to, and Moyes, yeah, this is what makes me sick about that guy, yeah. He's such an arrogant prick, right? I don't care. Usually I tried not to get personal, but now I'm getting personal because you're coming for the fans, yeah. He wants to sit there and go, the fans' expectations arise because, I've delivered European football back-to-back 2 really good seasons. Fuck off.
He's right. He's right, though, isn't he?
No, he's not. He's talking shit because we've never, ever accepted a relegation battle. Managers have been sacked on the back of it. Pellegrini got sacked for it. Bilic got sacked for it. Avram Grant got sacked for it. Way too late, but he got sacked for it, right? Kirbishley, run the names, yeah? He's acting like, because he delivered, a solid, 14 months, 18 months of success, right? That our expectations are raised. That's what he's trying to say.
I actually agree. I actually agree with D. I think he's brought West Ham fans back down to where you belong, man. That's what I think.
What is he talking about? We finish above them all the time, so I don't know what he's talking about.
Above
right?
who?
And he's talking about this guy. He's talking about get them out of that tin pot above Palace. Get them out of that tin pot European Cup. You've never won a trophy ever.
What have you won? And I hate when you speak like this. What have you won?
How dare you? How dare you?
What have you won in your lifetime as a West Ham fan in the top flight league? What have you won?
No. Tobes.
No. I listened to your rubbish.
I didn't even finish.
I'm sick to death of you pointing fingers at other people and talking about, what have you won? What is this? What is that? What the fuck have West Ham won? What have you won? What actually gives you the right to speak the way you speak? You have no right to speak the way you speak.
Yes, I do. I have every right.
No, you
He's
don't
a Palace fan. They've never won a trophy ever.
No, you don't have every right. How many years have Palace been a consistent time?
Come on, go to Google.
Don't say go to Google. Palace got promoted in what, like 2011, 2012, right?
After that, I think it was after that.
Later, I think.
Yeah, they haven't been not as long as us. So what are you even talking about?
Maybe 1 year later.
Maybe 1 year later.
Maybe 1 year later, and they've not been relegated since. You have.
Oh, good for them. No, we haven't. You're talking
You've
shit.
been relegated in the last.
No, we haven't.
Relegated in the last 10, 11 years.
No,
yes,
we have not been relegated more recently than Palace. We have not been relegated more recently than Palace. No, we have not.
Yes, you have.
No, we have not. Google it then. Google it then, Mr. Google. Go and ask Jamie Carragher. Ask Jamie Carragher. Yeah, Google. Right now, back to what I was saying. Yeah, one, I can talk as a Palace because they've never. We haven't won a trophy in my lifetime apart from the Intertoto Cup. They've never won a trophy in their history. I'm sorry, he can't call any trophy tin pot when they've never won one. Ever.
2012, 2013, they win playoff winners.
There you go. Sit down, Tobes. I know you're sitting down.
Did you get relegated?
We got relegated
2011, wasn't it?
Yeah,
2011,
2012. Yeah.
So that's within the last 10, 11 years.
So you're saying that you said they've been a Premier League side longer than us in this tenure.
Yeah.
That's not true, is it? It's not true.
Why is
it's
it not true?
Because
you get promoted the same
season.
You get promoted the same season, David.
But then it's not true, is it? It's not true.
You double check this.
You're talking shit. This is the thing, right? I have to endure.
Let me check. You might have a W here. Let me check.
Yeah. Exactly. Hold it. Look at this guy. I have to endure.
Fine. I'll hold it. I'll hold a rare L. Don't worry.
A rare L?
Yes,
Common
rare.
L. Common.
Yes, rare.
Common L.
Yes, rare.
Like, I have to endure listening to so much shit on my team week in, week out. Not like we sit there and we talk about, oh, well, Liverpool, yeah, Gakpo had a good goal, and and we sit there and analyze this. I'm saying, right? Errol gets to, have this long, glorious speech.
Just won 7-0, bruv.
No.
I was looking at El's eyebrow. The rock was up. I'm like, what?
See what I mean? I'm not even finished.
Lawless, when was the last time you won a game?
Wait a minute.
It doesn't matter when you last won.
7-0. Sit down, 7. Sit down, 7. Sit down. Yeah. Right? I'm saying, Pete gets to sit there and go, oh, well, we had a draw and, it's one of those ones. It's give and you take, and we haven't spent much money, but, and all of this stuff. And everyone just sits there and they sit there and they go, oh, that's fair enough. I say a syllable, everyone's on me. You know what I mean? Like
the season of you doing it to us, Lawless. It's payback, mate.
It's ridiculous. Look, Tobes is. Look at him with his L. Look at him. Honestly,
I'm looking at my phone, mate. I couldn't care less about your monologue.
I don't care. Listen, you take your L, right? But what I'm saying is,
you're fighting relegation. You're telling me I should take my L. All right.
Yeah, because of Moyes, and all of you try to say,
yes,
you can't go
Moyes. Moyes plays in goal. Moyes plays left back, right back, centre mid, up top, left wing. Forgot.
Moyes signs, coaches, picks the players, chooses the tactics, the formations. Yeah, so that's what Moyes does.
Was it not Moyes' credit or fault that you're playing European football?
Yeah, he gives credit, but I'm sorry, that does not give you the right to get a team in a relegation battle.
Then. So how can you credit him for getting used 2 years on the trot, European football, but then it's the other way around when it comes to him now getting used in a relegation battle?
No, I've given him credit. I've given him credit for what he's done. But I'm sorry, the end of the day, that's fast food, that's fast food. It's a quick, momentary. It's a kebab on a Friday night, Gives you
European football is now fast food. European football is now fast food.
No, one-off European football.
Well,
we need sustainability.
So he's done it twice.
Because they made a new European competition. That's why. If this had been a few seasons ago, no chance. Yeah, we'd have had one season. But I'm saying you can't.
Overachieved.
But now what's he doing? He's underachieving.
Max is saying Moyes is overachieving. I'm a West Ham fan.
But based on what? He's got £200 million. How is being in a relegation battle overachieving? How is he overachieving when he's been given more money than any West Ham manager in the history of the football club? How is that overachieving? We're in a relegation. We're sitting 2 points above the relegation zone.
To be fair to Lawless, Moyes has had a significant impact on the West Ham team this season. He's done an appalling job.
Yep.
He's done an appalling job, and he deserves a lot of criticism that Lawless is throwing his way. But I also don't want Lawless to just give all the stick to David Moyes. I liken it to the situation with Conte at Spurs. Conte needs to go the same way Moyes needs to go, and Conte's been a huge hindrance on Tottenham this season and has massively underachieved. But so have some of the players in our squad. So have some of the players that scored. That might be a product of Moyes and Conte's coaching, but fact of the matter is there are some players in the West Ham team that just have not performed to the level that you expect this season.
But
yes or
no? But yeah, you're right.
No?
Sorry to ask you this, Lawless. Do you not think the fans deserve a little bit of criticism this season as well? Because we've sat with you all season. Now, you can squint your eyes, but we've sat with you all season here. And we've had conversations. I remember you telling us in October, he's got this game to save his job. You gave us 3 games where he had to save his job back in October. Yet man's still in the hot seat now and it's March and the results haven't picked up. Your situation, your trajectory hasn't changed all that much. Yet there's not been an intense amount of pressure. Conte's situation is different in that respect. Spurs fans aren't really going to try and rock the boat and try and get him out. He's a world-class manager and he's going to go on his own accord. But Moyes, as you say, if he's detrimental to the sustainability and the long-term future of West Ham, why haven't the fans been more vocal?
Good question.
No, that is.
You seem to be the only one that's banging the drum.
Do you know what? Yeah,
West Ham fans. It's a great point.
I thought you was going a different way with it, but I have to say, no, you're right. And this Brighton game was the first time the fans really turned on Moyes and started singing, "You don't know what you're doing. You're getting sacked in the morning." There was one game where people were singing Ben Rama's name when he took him off and that. I think it was back in November or something. But it's sentimentality, right, has really stopped fans turning on him. And you're right. There should have been more pressure. But the hope was still there from a lot of them. And if we'd have turned earlier, put that pressure on earlier, then they could have sacked him because there were options out there. Before the World Cup was the perfect time. They should have done it.
Like I say, I don't have a wide net of West Ham fans in that I'm associated to, in all honesty. But I know from certain people up northwest that Rafa was itching for the opportunity to take his over a couple of weeks ago, but said that he needed a set amount of games in order to do it. When he went with Newcastle, I think he said he had 7 or 8 games and it wasn't enough. He'd need at least 15 if he was intending to keep his up this season.
He wants a long-term deal as well. So listen,
I think he would have dealt with I think he would have crossed that bridge had he have achieved obviously getting in at the right time and then keeping his up. Then have those conversations about the length of the deal. But I feel like
he's staying, man. He would have been sacked by now. He's staying.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying, Dan. Like, I feel as though you're banging that drum, Lawless. You've been an advocate for him going if the result didn't have an upswing from back in October 2022. Like, nothing's changed significantly, and the fans have still stood by him. So, are you the odd one out, or are you future seeing something that nobody else is seeing yet? Are you Mystic Meg for the West Ham fans?
The thing is, online, it's massively overwhelming, right? And it's starting to turn. It's been rumbling for a while. In the crowd, there's been pockets around me, Moyes, but people have had doubts about Moyes and said they want Moyes to go, but not with the conviction to really push for it. There hasn't been that conviction until now. Now's the conviction where people are now pushing it. We haven't got slapped all season, even though we've won 2 away games all year in the league, by the way, but no team has ever slapped us like Brighton slapped us. So that gave them the impetus to really go against them. And, I have to go to Tobe's point on the players. I can sit here and go, Antonio's been way off. Bowen's not been anywhere near as good as he should be. Kerr hasn't settled in. I could sit there and micro-analyze each player, but it's a waste of time because of the bigger issue. It's the bigger issue. There's no point in sitting there and going, "Oh, this player could have been a bit better. This player could have been a bit better." There's no justification. It comes down to David Moyes and why we're in the situation we're in. You hear Rice talking in interviews, right? They're exhausted. They're tired of going out and asked not to lose games rather than not winning. That's David Moyes. He's drained the club. He's drained the team.
Go on, Topes.
Listen, I actually hear where Lawless is coming from, and I do think they need to change manager, but I just want Lawless to keep the same energy. What you just said there about not digging out players when they're not playing well, because that takes away from the bigger point of when a manager is underperforming. I want you to keep that same energy when you speak on Spurs.
Well, you know, maybe
No, don't
I
say
will.
well. Don't say well. I want you to keep that same energy when you speak on Spurs. When you speak on Son out of form. When you speak on Richarlison who ain't playing. When you speak on Kulusevski. When you speak on the midfield, the defense.
I've been a massive critic on Souček, yeah?
I want you to keep the same energy, Lawless. That's all.
I've been a massive critic on Souček. I've been a massive critic of him, yeah? I'm allowed. Okay. But I have criticized Souček.
You better than Bentancur.
I get one of your
That's the only
players.
player you criticized. That's the only player you criticized.
No, I
Souček
can't.
Souček and Creswell.
Fabianski, I've criticized.
When did you criticize Fabianski?
If certain games I've said he had a poor game.
Guys, has anyone ever heard this guy criticize Fabianski? You tell us how good he is.
No, do you know why I don't? Do you know why I don't do it on this show, yeah, or other shows I'm on with you? Because you won't see the nuance. You sit there and I'll say Fabianski have a bad game, and you'll go, "Yeah, see, Fabianski, he's a shit keeper." Rather than just seeing he's 37, coming to the end of his career and just had a poor game. I don't want to give you ammunition.
You're going to apply the same context to Lloris, who's 36 and coming to the end of his career.
But no, because the reason why I do it to Lloris is because you do it to Fabianski. You sit there. I've done. How many combined 11s have I done with you? How many combined 11s have I done with you?
Yeah, and you always put Fabianski in.
Yeah, and you always put Lloris in, right? So we're there. We're even.
Odds even, man. Listen, Lawless.
Jesus Christ.
Lawless, before we go Spurs, like, what actually do you want to happen? Moyes out now, get someone in, Rafa, someone like that, or are you just gonna keep Moyes? What do you actually want? I still don't know what you want, Lawless. I don't know what you want.
They've not given me many options to actually ask for, like, really and truly. But where I'm looking at it now, when it gets to the point where and he's starting to see evidence of him losing the dressing room. If it's the point where it's the point of no return, we lose to Villa. Look, I want him gone end of season regardless. It doesn't matter what happens. We could win every single game to the end of the season, win the conference. I want him gone, right? His football is shit. Yeah, he's an arrogant prick. I can't stand him. I want him gone regardless. But right now,
I hope he wins you the Conference League. You know, so his name's etched in history, etched in West Ham's history. I hope.
Errol, he don't get sacked if they win the Conference League.
Oh, I told you.
He doesn't get sacked. He gets a fucking statue. I tell you, that's what happens.
Yeah, I told him.
It's a new deal, Dad. That's what he gets.
Maybe he'll leave. Maybe he'll leave. Maybe he'll leave. Maybe he'll just, go into the distance and he'll go and get a big club. Maybe he can go and get a top club. Oh, the Spurs job. They think they're a big club. The Spurs job will be free. Maybe he can win them a trophy.
We don't think we're a big job. We don't think we're a big club. You think West Ham are a big club.
I'm just again. I'm not getting into that.
Moyes is going to hang on, Lawless. Moyes is going to hang on because he just for the point that you've just made, he knows he ain't going anywhere else.
No, he's not
anywhere else higher than West Ham once he leaves West Ham. So he's going to claw and scratch as long as he can to stay on at that club.
He's going to get sacked. Pochettino is going to go out in the press and beg to get.
Yeah, he'll want to come to a club that wins trophies. Obviously,
he's going to beg for the West Ham job and force Moyes out of that job. Why would he want to manage West Ham?
Trophy, mate, because we win trophies. Obviously, when
we
win that trophy.
I don't know
what I'm saying.
You don't win trophies. How dare you even make such
I'm saying, if we win that Conference League, if we win that Conference League,
if we win the second tier playoff trophies.
If we win the Conference League, then we've won a trophy, which is more than what Spurs have done.
So win the Conference League, sack Moyes and hire Pochettino.
No, let me answer. Shut up. We don't know that.
Guys, I've never heard a man to base his argument off hypotheticals. Come to win trophies that you haven't won.
I'm just saying. Sorry, who brought up Pochettino? Yeah, I was just simply trying to answer Dan's question.
No, yeah, I brought up Poch, but why did you bring up trophies? What does that have to do with anything?
Well, because we're in contention for a trophy, and we could have a trophy. We could have a trophy, and he could go and say, "Boom! I'm gonna go to
you're not going to win
one of the European champions. One of the three European champions."
You just spent 30 minutes telling us how Moyes is not good enough and is limiting your team. You've just been thrashed 4-0 by Nottingham Forest. You're fighting relegation. You've been dumped out.
Nottingham Forest. We thrashed.
Sorry, you got thrashed by Brighton. Yeah. Where does this belief that you're winning this cup come from?
everything you tell us is that Moyes is running West Ham into the ground, but at the same time, you believe that he's going to win you the Europa Conference League?
It all depends on the run. Yeah, the run that we get. We've got Larnaca now, the easiest team in the competition. Depends on the next game.
I hope you lose to them.
Who were the clubs that are concerning, Lawless? Who were the clubs?
Fiorentina, Lazio, and Villarreal. Yeah, Fiorentina, Lazio, Villarreal. They're the three.
They'll
left
get
in.
bounced by Lazio. They'll get
Lazio just lost, by the way. Lazio just lost.
So
I'm just saying. Yeah.
So what?
I'm just saying.
You over 2 legs.
Look, we will see. We'll see the run. Yeah. What I'm saying, to answer Pot's question, what I would like to happen, right? As it stands, we've got the Aston Villa game. If it gets to the point of no return where it's like, shit, we are in free fall, he's fully lost the players, then just get an interim in. Just get an interim in and have them, because I don't want no Rafa. Yeah, we get Rafa in because we're desperate.
You may as well just stick with them. It's fucking
no, but this is why, Errol, yeah? This is what I'm saying. I'm not saying sack him now and getting an interim. I'm saying if it comes to the point of no return, like these players have fully turned on him, yeah? Fully turned on Moyes, then we have to sack him just to get that dark cloud out of the team's head, to get that bit of freshness, to get the players back feeling positive. Sometimes an interim is what you need. And we get that little bounce, yeah? And that could be enough to keep us up. That's what I want in an end of season. I don't want no long-term permanent manager.
You've got a manager like Rafa Benitez saying, in order to keep you up in your predicament, Rafa's been a winner. He's done it. He's got teams back.
How long ago?
Rafa
Benitez is done in the Premier League.
He's done it. He knows
he's
what he's
done. I agree with Toby.
Done in the Premier League, man.
No, I agree. I agree.
So I'm not disagreeing. I don't disagree.
That's a Newcastle fan who wanks him off.
Look, we love Newcastle. Like, Newcastle love Rafa, but when he went to China, he came back from China a different manager.
A different man.
He's not the same manager.
You're not deep in what I'm saying, though. I'm not saying that he's the right man, but with someone with his pedigree and understanding of the league, if he's been able to assess that himself would have needed 15 games, what manager do you think you're going to get within between 6, 7, or even less games that can come in as an interim and give you that bounce?
No, but when I'm saying interim,
on the line,
but Errol, when I'm saying interim, I'm not saying interim like we get a named manager. I'm saying interim like when Man United had Carrick, or Arsenal had Ljungberg or something, or when we had Trevor Brooking. I'm saying like it's that to the point where you just have someone, steward the ship for the rest until we get a new captain in. Right?
Have you put your CV in?
Listen, I would do a better job than David Moyes.
Would you take Noble? Would you take Noble?
Yeah, I think he's done his badges, I'd take Noble. I'd rather have Kevin. If Kevin Nolan could keep the job.
This would be good to see.
I called this saying that what's his name, Noble would finish the season for West Ham. I called it.
I would give it to Nolan.
Mark Noble.
Who sweeps the floors? Who sweeps floors? Who's gonna sweep West Ham? That's Tobe's contribution to that fucking statement.
So he's gone from Pochettino to Mark Noble.
Potts, clip it.
Shut up. This is what I'm saying. Shit gets twisted. Every time it gets twisted, my words get twisted.
Lawless. Honest question.
What would he? Sorry, Dan. What credentials does Mark Noble have apart from the fact that he's one of your own?
What credentials did Ljungberg have? What credentials did Carrick have? Yeah, that's one. We're talking about interim manager. Shearer. What credentials did Shearer have at Newcastle?
Shearer was shit for Newcastle.
How can you blame Shearer? But how can you blame them? The situation they're in.
I'm not blaming them. I'm asking you why you think that it's sensible to put Mark Noble interim manager when you're actively fighting relegation.
Because what I'm saying is, Tobes, I'm not
saying Newcastle that season were already down.
Tobes, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying sack Moyes now and bring in Noble now. I'm saying if it comes to that point where the dressing room is completely gone, they've turned on him. We lose the Villa game, right? Southampton, 2 big games at home, right? We don't win away games. Like I said, 2 away games in the last 365 days, yeah? So we have to bank on our home games. We've got 8 home games left and 5 away games. Our home games are critical. If we start losing them, we have to let him go, because it doesn't matter if it's fucking Moyes or Noble. We just need someone to get this prick out and let the players go out and say, look, we're going to go out and try to win the games.
No, I get the notion of getting rid of him. I completely understand that. I just don't understand the suggestion with Mark Noble.
I didn't suggest Noble. Dan did.
You said you'd be happy with it.
No, I said I'd prefer Kevin Nolan. Kevin Nolan. Kevin Nolan's actually been a manager, and he's been ours. And yes, he has.
Notts County, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was Notts County.
How did that go?
He got sacked.
Oh, what manager don't get sacked? Pochettino. Has he been sacked? Has Pochettino been sacked? Has Pochettino been sacked? The only manager who ain't been sacked is Arteta. What's that? What's your point? Oh, he's been sacked. Shit. We're talking about an interim manager.
I don't think Ten Hag's been sacked.
Well, maybe. Well, I don't know. I haven't followed his whole career.
I don't think Pep's been sacked.
All right. Well, so that's the level, right? Okay, that's the level. Pep, right? But because Kevin Nolan's been sacked, he's not good enough to be an interim manager.
Lawless.
Tobes, you tell me. Wait, Tobes, tell me. Who? Tell me who we get. Tell me. You tell me. If Nolan Noble's
you're really gonna let him answer that question, Dan?
You don't shit to me. How dare you?
I don't care. You're shit.
No, you can't say that.
Get Slaven Bilic back. He's. I heard he's about to lose his job at Watford. Get him back.
He's been sacked.
Get him back.
How can someone say they don't care, but then sit there and go, "No, Noble. You said Noble. How can you say Noble?" Like,
I care about him being your manager because he has no credentials.
Right.
Get Karen Brady. Get her to be your manager.
Right, we're moving, man.
Shane done her coaching badges. Shane done her coaching badges.
Just a quick question for Lawless.
Go on, Dan.
Would you take going out of Europe and Moyes going this week over him staying to the end of the season?
No, if you said going out of Europe and guaranteeing Premier League survival and Moyes going, I'd take it. But I wouldn't take going out of Europe and Moyes going now over him staying to the end of the season. I'd rather be in Europe and then see what happens in the season and put the pressure on. Like,
you want to stay in the league instead of winning this stupid competition, right?
All right. Put some respect on it, though. But yeah, I want to stay in the league.
You're not going down. Yeah, okay. Put some respect on it.
No, I would rather
put some respect on it. He says.
Yeah. Oh, if Tobes would have won that year, that would have been the best trophy. That would have been like even better than the Audi Cup. Even that'd have been better than that prestigious Audi Cup. Yeah,
I don't mention the Audi Cup though. I've literally never mentioned that. That's a thing that fans say to get on Spurs fans. I've never mentioned the cup.
Yeah,
I just find it rich that you love talking about trophies.
Listen, Tobes, I saw your watch along for the Audi Cup here. You was fist pumping, you was smiling, you was celebrating. Yeah, you was. I was one of your first subscribers, mate. Trust me.
So you just made up a lie. I wasn't even doing it.
He deleted the video.
That was quite funny. That was quite funny. Tobes, mate, I don't know there's much more for you to say, bro. That's why
there isn't, man. Let's keep it short and sweet.
You've said it. Let's keep it short, man. You have the mic, man. You want it. You want Tottenham.
Honestly, you have it. I've spoken about this situation enough, man.
I'll tell you what I'll say, right? Like, apart from folding the club, what actually more did Tottenham do now? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, the owners aren't going anywhere. You're stuck with what you've got, man. Like, what actually do you want to happen? Like, just fold the club, man. Get Tottenham out and just that's it. Done. Like, what happens?
Life would probably be a little bit easier, but I would also lose a lot of love for the game, to be fair, if that happened. But no, I think at this specific point in time, if you ask me what can Spurs do right now to give us a little bit of an uplift, you have to change coach. You have to change coaches. The writing has been on the wall since we've come back. Since we've come back from the World Cup, like the results were bad towards the end of the season pre-World Cup, but we beat Leeds. And then since the back of the World Cup, they've just been kamikaze, like just up and down. Draw 1 week, lose the next week, win the next week, lose the next week, win the next week, win the next week, lose, draw, win, lose. It's just I can't take it anymore, man. It's just they need to go. That's all I can say right now.
Like same question to Lawless. Like, you know, what happens if you get rid of everyone now? Because I would go like just get rid of. Would you surely rather the owners go than this lot in charge, right?
Yeah, no. I said, what can we do right now? Daniel Levy can't leave at this point in the season. My ideal scenario: they need to fuck off. Bring a coach who's willing to actually do his job and get the best out of what he's been given. And actually be competitive. Give them the funds to be competitive. That's my ideal scenario, but that's not really going to happen.
Tobes, do you think they've got the biggest? Whoever goes in there after Conte has got the biggest rebuild job out of the Premier League?
No, I don't. I think they will need to rebuild, but I don't think it's the biggest per se, but it's definitely
depends who they lose. If Kane goes, and all that,
I look at teams like Everton. They got a humongous rebuild there. I don't know. I don't know if it's the biggest, but it's definitely one of the toughest jobs without a doubt. So yeah, I'm just sick of this team right now, to be honest.
Are you getting top four?
I can't be bothered to talk about them.
Just in line with that, with the top four, I was going to ask: is top four enough to keep Harry Kane at the club? Because there was huge links last night about Man United keeping tabs on Harry Kane and looking to go in for him in the summer. I imagine they're not the only team.
Haven't you heard, Pete? Haven't you heard? Man U from Weghorst.
No, Kane and Weghorst would make a great combination, man. Imagine Kane and Weghorst together, man. What they can do is
on a serious note, I don't want to be on a downer because obviously Tobes is frustrated.
No, fuck that, Pete. You were all happy to get on me. Why is it when we come to
what I'm saying is Kane gonna leave this summer? That's the question.
I think he is. We're all about top four. I think he's gonna leave this summer. He will have a year left on his deal. And I think there'll be suitors that will come in for him. And I don't think Daniel Levy will want to lose him on a free transfer. So, yeah, I can see him leaving this summer. In fact, I expect Harry Kane to leave this summer, to be honest. We're all about top four.
That's massive, bro. That's massive. Let's face it. Harry Kane has been Tottenham for God knows how many years. Like, how do you replace those goals, that effectiveness in games? He makes the difference. And like, in my opinion, I think there's an agreement there with Levy. I think he's agreed that he didn't go last season, so he goes this season. But like, I'm thinking from a Tottenham perspective, how do you replace that? He is Mr. Tottenham. He literally scores all the goals. He's the main man. And like, look, all this is laughing. Like, he's loving this, but no, it's a genuine thing. Look, Tobes will agree.
Yeah, I don't think
he's the main man at Tottenham. He does everything at Tottenham.
Yeah, I think sometimes that can be a hindrance, though. Like, I liken it to the Steven Gerrard situation with Liverpool. You know, when we just couldn't kick on, and as much as a servant you've been, as much as it's slightly different because Gerrard dragged us to titles and won us things and, you know, honours, I should say, but it's that when you want to go for the top of the top or you want to get into that next bracket, there is a time and sometimes, even though you've been that talisman and been that best player, as what Lawless was saying there, in terms of the future, the safeguard and the future of the club, it might be the right time to let you go so other people can get the opportunity to step out of your shadow. And now, because the likes of Jordan Henderson is, from Liverpool's perspective, massively stepped up when Gerrard left. There was other players that had to come out of the fold and start to do other things that Gerrard was previously doing. Do you not think it could be a liken to that situation for Harry Kane?
It's like when Declan Rice leaves, West Ham will be all right then.
Nah, listen. Listen. Tottenham are finished, up in that section of the table when he goes, because everything is so reliant on Kane. It's not even the same as Rice, yeah? Okay, we may have a dip. We are going to lose. We ain't going to be able to replace him with the same quality, but we're not so massively reliant on him that if we get a couple of players in the midfield who are maybe not quite as good as Rice, but still good, we can't kick on. But Spurs, where are they replacing them goals? Where are they replacing everything else he does? Oh, yeah, okay.
You're in a relegation battle with Rice.
Moyes tax, okay? Let's talk about Spurs.
So why can't I apply Conte tax?
No, you can't apply Conte tax.
Why?
You know why? Because the whole point is, but that doesn't make sense. Because Kane, what we're talking about is when Kane leaves. When
the thing is, you're looking at this as worth. You're looking at this as a worst case scenario, right?
Yeah,
it's obviously clear. It's obviously clear that Harry Kane is basically has been carrying the burden for Spurs alongside Son
for a long time
in years, like basically since he's burst onto the scene. But like Errol mentioned, that is also a hindrance. We are too reliant on Harry Kane to the point where if he doesn't perform, it's a problem. We look to him for goals. We look to him for creativity. We look to him for a lot of things. So Harry Kane leaving, as painful as it will be, I don't want him to leave. I would love for Spurs to keep him, but it would force Spurs to go about things differently. If you lose Harry Kane, you cannot play the same way you played. You will have to diversify. You will have to change.
Yeah,
so I don't really understand. I don't necessarily. Losing Harry Kane for me is monumental.
You can't spin it into a positive. I don't care what Errol. You can't spin it into a positive. That's what Errol's trying to do. Oh, Gerrard.
I don't care what you think.
I'm looking at it from the other angle, though.
Fuck that angle.
Positive. What I'm trying to say.
I'm just saying, Errol, we have to look at it like this, yeah. We can talk about best case scenarios, like you said. They could sell Kane, and now they're not going to be reliant on this one player. They can spend money all around the pitch, and it's going to make them better.
Money.
No,
it's not even about the money. It's not even about the money. It's about spending money.
But who's there, Errol? Who's there that can step up, like you said for Gerrard? Who's there?
But this is what I'm saying. Until you're in that situation, you don't know what
he's laughing. He said the other day Richarlison would fit well at West Ham. That's what you said.
No, but I'm just. Why are you coming for me? Come for.
Because you were laughing, and I'm like, you just the other day you were saying you'd like Richarlison at West Ham.
He's not Harry Kane. He's not fucking Harry Kane.
I'm not saying Harry Kane, but Lawless, listen to what I'm saying. Spurs are there's obviously going to be a drop off when Harry Kane leaves. That's clear. There's going to be a drop off. We can't replicate his goals and creativity. There are only like two or three strikers on the planet that can do what Harry Kane can do, and even that is pushing it. So Spurs are obviously not going to be able to replicate what they had with Kane, which means it will force them to play differently. Whether that will be a good thing or bad thing remains to be seen. But the fact of the matter is, right now, it's a problem that we are too reliant on Harry Kane. That's a problem. That's not a good thing. Everyone's saying it's the heartbeat. That's not a good thing.
That should have been addressed while Kane was at the club, though. That should have been addressed ages ago. Now you're just losing him and then having to look at, okay, we need to figure out how to not be relying on Kane who's gone. We need to build this whole new team. It's a massive change.
But nobody's disputing that, though. Nobody's disputing that. Like, literally no person is going to dispute that. The point is, we have, in the last 12 months, we've signed Richarlison and Kulusevski. We signed 2 attackers, 25 and under. When Harry Kane leaves, obviously, we're going to need to sign, in my opinion, 2 players to replace that burden. We don't know how things are going to pan out. Yeah. Of course, I don't think it's far-fetched for you to predict a drop-off. When you look at what his goals mean for our team, it's obvious that there will be a drop-off when you lose a player of that caliber. But the fact of the matter is, Spurs have been needing to do this anyway. We've been needing to do this anyway, even with Kane in the team. We needed to get to a point where we weren't so reliant on Harry Kane. I would love for a scenario where Kane is in the team and he's not the go-to man. I would love that.
But your track record of signing strikers isn't very good, is it? That's the problem. So you can't say, well, we'll sign someone else, because there's a good chance that they could flop. They could be I didn't
say. I said it's something that they're going to need to do. I don't know if they're going to. I don't
know.
Does
that not worry you though?
Of course, it worries me. They've not replaced Modric. They've not replaced Eriksen. They've not replaced Jan Vertonghen. So yeah, of course it worries me. But
Are you worried in the next couple of years, Tobes, like for the future of Spurs in the next 2 years? Does that worry you? Are you worried for the future of Tottenham, like in terms of their next 2 seasons? Where are you going to be? Life without Kane, it's all an uncertainty. It looks a little bit of a low place. The club's run like a circus.
I am, but it's what we need. It's what we need. It's what we need to actually try and rediscover an identity.
Tried everything, man. They've tried everything, the ownership. And nothing's worked. I don't know where you go from here, man.
Sorry,
real talk.
No, genuinely, this is what we need. So, if that means we finish 7th, 8th, so be it. This is what we need.
That high,
we still have good players. We still have good players that can do a really good job.
You are shameless, bro. You are absolutely fucking shameless.
I didn't even hear what he said. What did you say?
You said 7th or 8th, and he said, "Really, that high?"
I'm just saying, times are looking tough. There's dark.
Before Harry Kane burst into the scene, where did Spurs finish?
Okay, but then you had the Modric's and then the Bales.
No. We didn't have Modric. We lost Modric. We lost Bale. Where did Spurs finish? In probably the worst season I can remember as a Spurs fan in recent years, 2013, 2014. Where did Spurs finish?
I think that's a simplistic way of looking at it.
It's not a simplistic way of looking at it. We finished sixth. We finished sixth. In the last 15 or 16 years, Spurs has finished below 7th like once or twice.
And look how competitive the league is now. Look how competitive the league is now. The league has always been competitive. Never ever to this level.
The league has always been competitive. And all this talk on Spurs being rubbish. Spurs are 4th, and we've lost 9 games this season. So
we're talking about the future. The future.
I'm talking about the future and the present. Spurs are 4th. With some.
So why are you complaining? Why are you complaining? Why are you raging on YouTube? Why are you going mad?
Because I'm complaining because the football's been shit. The results haven't been good. We're only 4th because the other teams behind us are not showing the consistency to oust Spurs. Which is the point I'm making to you. What makes you so sure that Newcastle go leaps and bounds next season? What makes you so sure that West Ham come and eclipse Spurs? What makes you so sure that Brighton go and eclipse Spurs next season? Who's to say that the same way we're going to lose Spurs? Brighton don't lose the Derby this summer. Brighton don't lose Caicedo this summer.
But that's true.
You look at worst case scenario for Spurs, and that's fair.
No, but we're not. We're looking at Kane. We're looking at, you said Kane's probably going to leave. So we're looking at the likelihood, right? There's more of a certainty that Spurs will lose Kane and Conte will go than there is of Brighton losing Dizabi and some of their good players. Newcastle, yes, no guarantee, but they have. They're in a lot more stable place than Spurs will be and will be able to spend. Brighton, well-run club, good manager. If they keep hold of them, definitely a bigger upside than Spurs.
What's your rationale then? Because you're putting yourself in the conversation. What's your rationale?
My rationale, new owners, Moyes gone. We can keep these players and spend them. Okay. No, but it's likely. So
everything you mentioned about Newcastle and Brighton are things that are actually in place.
Okay.
That's why it's very hard to take in the point you're making.
Okay.
Spurs will of course drop off without Harry Kane, but I don't think the drop off is as severe as you're making it out to be. I don't, and I've said this before.
Take Kane out of that team this season. Where would you be right now?
Yeah, we'd be low. But again, that's the problem. We're too dependent on one player. That's the problem. That's why someone like Conte, who's being paid £50 million a year, you're not doing your job well enough. It shouldn't be that way.
If you sell Kane, it has to be early window. Do you think you'll sell him early window?
I don't know.
Oh, mate, if they're buying off United, it won't be early window.
That's what I'm saying. If you wait till the end of the window, you're fucked. Like, you're fucked. You have to get rid of him ASAP, reinvest that money straight away. You wait till near the end and play hardball, yeah? You are fucked. I'm just saying. That's key.
Genuinely, I don't know. I don't know when
battle, Lawler said.
Apparently.
Could be.
Apparently.
You need to hire an ex-West Ham manager again.
Since the 90s.
Maybe Moyes could save you like Harry Kane did. Harry Redknapp.
He's going to be in the West Ham job, bro. He's going to be in the West Ham job.
Like, you need ex-West Ham managers to save you from relegation, like we've seen in the past with Kane. You'll need David Moyes. So
last question, quick, Tobes.
Relegation battle.
Harry,
Hilarious.
last question before we wrap up, because I do literally need to wrap up. Tobes, does Harry Kane in a Man City side of this side score the amount of goals that Haaland has?
Yes,
Why do you think that is?
because they create tons of chances, and he's an expert finisher. I'm looking at. I think there may be a couple goals that Haaland uses his athleticism, but I just feel like with the sheer volume of chances Man City create, I think Harry Kane would score as much as him, and I think Harry Kane would offer Man City way more dominance in possession than Haaland.
Links to play.
Yeah.
Is he better than Shearer, Pete? So I like in his career to it, because obviously you can see the club.
Yeah, very similar career.
Very similar career.
Better than Shearer.
I think people forget how good Shearer was. That's what I think. But
for me, no.
People forget he won a Premier League as well, don't they?
I'm not even going on trophies. As a player, for me, Alan Shearer is better. And let's not forget, Alan Shearer missed 3 years worth of football through really bad injuries. So the goals that he scored could have been a hell of a lot more. He could have been going into the 300s easily if it have not. He had broken ankle, ACL tear, out for over a year. There was another couple of bad injuries. That was in a career where he just scored goals for fun.
He'd have scored. I think he'd have scored more. And this isn't a dig, Pete. I think he'd have also scored.
I know what you're going to say.
If he'd have gone to United, I think he'd have scored more goals as well.
Yeah, I think they're quite neck and neck. I can't lie. I think they are quite neck and neck. I can't lie. But I thought Shearer was unreal. So yeah, man. Pete, I'll stay with you quick. 2 questions before we wrap up, mate.
Very quick.
You didn't do us a favour. I wanted you to do us a favour, but I did watch the game in the pub. It didn't look like it was ever going to happen from what I saw, mate. Disappointed by the Foden goal. It just kind of, I know it was a bit lucky out winning, but just kind of walked through, and I thought, and then you had a couple of chances. But it seems like to me, Newcastle can't score goals at the moment, man. So I wanted to ask you on that very quickly, and then I wanted to turn it to you for the Arsenal last-minute gasp winner, because you've been one on the panel that does fancy Arsenal this year, and I wanted to ask you how important that last-minute goal could be come May. So 2 questions for you there, bro.
The Newcastle thing is very, very clear. Like you said, the Foden goal, Newcastle fans have been saying for a few games now, and been waiting for Target to be fit again, because Dan Burn needs a rest. He looks burnt. Literally, part of the pun, he looks burnt out big time. And he's not really left back, but he's done a great job for this season. But he got rinsed time and time again by Foden, and he was at fault for the goal. I didn't see it at the time. I look back, I've watched it again. He was definitely at fault for the goal. And you're absolutely right. We talked off air before we even went on. You know, every Newcastle fan was stunned and shocked that Wilson was starting. Everyone is asking the question, why is Isak not playing? Isak's been fit for a while now. When he came on against Man City, he gave his life. Him, Willock, ASM, when they came off the bench, they gave his life. And actually, the surprise thing about it is that they went up and hit us with the second goal, because at that moment, when those 3 players came on the pitch, we looked the most likely to score, to get back in the game. Joe Linton missed an absolute sitter. I thought, again, it was a bad touch or a bad one. He didn't quite connect. Watched it again. Should have scored.
Isn't he out 2 games as well now, mate? Joe Linton.
Yeah. He's banned for 2 games because he just gets yellow cards for fun. So we're going to miss him because he's a big player. But at the same time, we just can't score goals. But equally, we just don't know how to shoot. Like, from distance, we get opportunities. It's like we want to work the perfect goal. We just need to shoot and cause some problems, because, like you just said, we created chances at the Etihad. We created more chances than any of us would have expected. So it could have been a different game. We had an air shot from Gordon in the first half. It was great boarding from Bruno. Gordon runs on, had a free shot on goal, but miskicks it. Wilson misses an absolute sitter. Great work from Trippier. should have been a goal. And then Longstaff, straight after they scored the first goal, was in on goal. Hesitated, took 2 touches too many. Ake comes back and wins the ball. We could have scored 3 goals in the first half. So for me, like, I'm frustrated that we lost, but at the same time, it's Man City. But at the same time, we're still creating chances. And as I said to you boys before we came on here, I'd be worried if we weren't creating chances. We are creating numerous chances, but we need to put the ball in the net. There needs to be a switch up. People are calling for 1 or 2 players to come into the team. I'm expecting some changes on Sunday against Wolves. We've got 2 games now before the international break. Wolves at home, Forest away. Not saying they're guaranteed wins, far from it, but they are games that we're expected to take points.
They're winnable. Yeah,
they are winnable. You're exactly right, and that's what we need to do. We need to turn it around. So, look, let's wait and see. But going on to the Arsenal point, we talk about it every season. We talk about it with Liverpool, with Man City, with Man United in years gone by. You have moments in seasons where you win games that kind of almost define what you're going to go on and do, and it almost felt like that with the Bournemouth game. I thought you guys were done and dusted at 2-0. It never looked like you were going to get back in the game, but all of a sudden, the press, the continuous press, manages to get a breakthrough. And then once you got that first goal, you always knew you were going to get a second, and it was always going to be a question of whether you were going to get a third. And it always takes a big moment. I always remember the, is it Makeda against Aston Villa.
Yes,
3-2 winner.
That type of goal that wins you a game out of nothing, and I think that it could well be that moment. And look, a few weeks ago, I thought Man City, after they beat you, could be in it, could be back in it. But those types of wins that Arsenal keep churning out means that it looks like you're back right in the race again, and Man City have got to then go again, and it's whether they've got the ability to go again. We know they have, but this is a very, very different season to previous seasons gone by.
Tobes?
I just want to ask Pete a question because, listen, I got a lot of time for what Newcastle have done, but I'm not hearing any gas as of late, man. I'm not hearing any Newcastle.
Why would there be gas? We've drew like 5 out of the last 6. Like
I'm just asking what's going on, brother.
I've just said we can't score goals. Like this is our big problem. We cannot score goals at the moment.
Do you know what I think it might be as well, Pete? You need the summer window, man. And I'm not saying this because everyone needs a window, but right now Almiron's dropped off. I don't really see much coming from the bench. Some of the players that, like Callum Wilson, like there is an actual answer to that, which is Isak. But there's, like you've just said, Dan Burn. We're begging Target to come back. Some of the players at the moment lost a bit of legs, and I'm not seeing much from the bench. That'll be different next season. So I wouldn't worry if I was a Newcastle.
I've clocked as well. No, I'm trolling obviously because Newcastle they still look a good side, but I'm just
Lascelles was our man of the match, which is all you need to know about Newcastle United on Saturday. He's only played 2 games this season, 1 at Anfield and 1 at Man City, and he was fantastic in both in the Premier League.
No, I'm asking whether I'm saying he's crept back into the team. Where's that come from?
What's that? Shaw had concussion in the cup final. And look, in the Newcastle circles, there's been question marks aimed at our medical team because he got an injury in the first half of the cup final. You could tell he had a bad bruise on his head, and there were question marks of whether he should have continued. And the fact that he then has had 7 days off because of concussion says that he shouldn't have played. He shouldn't have played on. So it was a bad move from the medical staff. He didn't play at the weekend, but he'll be back for Wolves. So I don't see him playing long term.
Pete, has the altitude finally got to you?
Not to me. Look, you know me. I've said it all. I've said it since I came on the show. I'm loving life right now. I'd have took anywhere between 10th and 8th, and you know what? We may still finish in those positions, but equally,
would you take 7th though, Pete? You would take the conference, right?
I'd take any Europe. Like it makes me laugh because you like banter these guys about Europa Conference and take the mick out of it. But I've said to you week upon week, Newcastle had to snap your hand off it.
Does that change your transfer window?
Any European football is great for us. Any European football means that we can attract better players.
Oh, don't do this. Lawless, don't do this when Lawless is on, man. We'll be here all night.
The elite with Conference League.
Sorry?
I know. Obviously, you're going to do the transfer windows. You know, at their stage.
Money will talk, Dan.
No. Dan's asked a good question. Will we attract the elite? The answer to that is that we're not going for the elite. The type of players that you're going to go for, Arsenal, the likes of Liverpool. Liverpool have been linked with Bellingham, for example. Like, that's a pipe dream for us. We're not going for those type of
pipe dream for us, lads.
We're going to go for the type of players that we can try and make into those top players in 2 or 3, 4 years.
You missed the first part of what I said, mate. What I said was, does it change your transfer window if you finish 7th as opposed to finishing 4th?
Honestly,
I don't think it will.
I don't think it will. And the reason being is because, unlike with the previous owner, we have a huge pool of players that we're going for. Yeah, and it's been proven in the summer. It was proven in January with the type of players that we're linked with. And already there's talks about the type of players that we're going to go in for in the summer. And it's far and wide.
But you're not just looking at the window, right? Why you want European football? Like this whole thing about we got to finish, or you must finish here to track these players or these players. If you finish 7th, it's European football. Your fans get to go on some great away days. You get to see more games. Your club's going to make more money, which helps with FFP. There's benefits behind what players we can attract. It's a great experience when you haven't seen your team play that in a long time. It's still going to be great for your club and for your fans.
Exactly, and that's the key. So it's been 10 years since we played in Europe. Like for us, we would take any Europe before the start of the season. Of course, we've been in the top 4 or 5 for quite a while. And we'd love to get Champions League, but the reality is what Errol was talked about tonight, and various other teams, they look like they're more likely at this moment in time. We could kick in another lot of form.
I actually think out of everyone on this panel, Pete's the one who can actually relax. Like, you got to a final. The worst case scenario you can have, in my opinion, is like, oh, you've come 10th. That's a bit disappointing, but you're not going to start going mad.
He's chilling. And the fact
you're chilling, man.
I'm enjoying life. I've got to be honest. I'm enjoying
Everyone else is on tender hooks. Lawless going down. Dan's having a big race off with fucking City. Dan's stressed because, he's just been piped 7-0. Like, fucking hell.
I'm not stressed, mate. We've won a cup and we've got. I think we'll win. We'll get Champions League football.
I love this. I'm chilled.
In 20 years' time, which will you remember more vividly? Getting piped 7-0 or winning the Carabao Cup against Newcastle?
Winning the Carabao Cup every day.
You're a liar.
You're
a liar.
That basically cancelled out your trophy. That's what you're saying. that defeat has cancelled out your cup.
No, it hasn't, mate. Definitely not.
Null and void.
Yeah, okay. Hands up if you got a trophy this season. Oh wait, no, of course. Yeah, okay.
Still got season left to play. You just got the early one. That's the first final of the season. Yeah, so
you're not winning anything, man. Shut up.
So you're not even in any competitions. You're getting knocked out tomorrow. So listen, you ain't competing for anything. You ain't competing for anything. Okay,
so
you ain't competing. We're competing. You ain't competing
about trophies. Shut up. You're not winning anything.
But you're not
heard someone talk so much about trophies without winning.
Everyone here, who's got more chance of winning a trophy this season? West Ham or Spurs? Everyone. West Ham or Spurs? Who's got more of a chance?
Oh, sorry. 1% chance versus 10% chance.
All right, we got more of a chance than Spurs. Cool.
My bad. Yeah, because you're in this 3rd-tier European competition. You're playing scrubs.
You didn't win. You
play the best of the best.
You didn't make it out of the group stages. What are you talking about?
I've never even heard of Larnaca. What is that? Is that an island in Greece? What is it?
It's in Cyprus. It's near Ayia Napa, actually. It's near Ayia Napa.
Oh my days! Yeah. So the team you're playing is more famous for fucking.
He's playing holiday reps.
No raise.
He's playing a team for holiday reps. in the bar when you talk.
But Spurs didn't make it at the group stages.
Fishbowl FC. Lawless is playing Fishbowl FC.
Yeah, but we made it at the group stages. We've won. No. But why are you laughing, Tubbs? Because we've won every game in this competition. You didn't make it at the group stages. How can he laugh? You talk about self-awareness.
That's much more important.
Okay, but you're not going to win it. But you can't cuss me. No. Where's your self-awareness? Where's your self-awareness? Yeah, because you didn't make it out of the group stages.
You're crazy. Why do you keep putting so much significance on that? Literally, that competition is built for the dross that can't make it in the Europa League and for the teams
Spurs, that dross. Tottenham
yes, we were dross in the season that we got conference qualification. We were shit.
So okay, but all right, but at the end of the day, it's a trophy. You could have won a trophy. You could have won a trophy.
What we could have won, but I'm saying, please stop piping up about winning this damn.
You better hope we don't fucking win it. You better hope.
You know what? I'm sick of you talking. Put your money where your fucking mouth is. Let's put money on it. You won't win this trophy. Why?
Where's tax? No. I can't
tell me about no Moyes tax. Let's put money on it that you will win this competition.
I can't trust Moyes with my money. Yeah,
I can't trust about when we win this trophy.
But I'm saying, if we win it, I don't know what God you pray to, but pray to him, pray to the others. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying.
If you win it, you could get £100 off me. So let's put money on it.
I'm getting £100 off you. I'm already
getting £100.
Make
it 200. Make it 200 if you're going to win it.
Listen, a good gambler always knows when to walk away from the table. Yeah, you always
know. Don't walk away from the table. Because I'm really asking to put money on what you believe is going to happen.
Listen. I'm saying we have no. I'm saying we have a very good chance still. I still think we have a chance.
If you lose against Liverpool,
when I asked him what's so optimistic about West Ham, he says, "Oh, we're going to win a trophy this season, new ownership, etc., etc." And now when I'm saying put your money on it, you're saying you change it to a part.
All right, let's go to the panel. Yeah, everyone, tell me where are West Ham getting to in this competition, and are we winning it? Right, what stage? So, Potts, we'll start with you. Where we getting to, and are we winning?
You'll beat Larnaca because that's somewhere out of Mordor.
So we get to quarter-final.
So you'll beat them, and then I think you'll go out. If you get Lazio, Villarreal, Fiorentina, you're going out.
So we're getting. So you're saying we're getting quarterfinals?
Yeah. Unless you avoid them, then you'll get another Larnaca type team.
Pete.
So what round are you in right now?
We're in the round of 16, I think it is.
Right. Okay. Yeah. You'll get through this round, no doubt. It's hard to say because it all depends on who you get.
So you just don't. Yeah. So none of you think that we have any chance against Lazio. Yeah.
I don't even know where they're against Larnaca. I'm saying it.
I hope you do. It'll be so funny if you do.
Mate, they're second in the league. They're second in their league, mate. They're second in their league. I'm saying you get knocked out by Larnaca.
What league is that? Come on.
League in INAFA, mate. You just told us. Come on, keep up.
Errol, come on, man. Be the voice of reason, yeah?
Well, how far are you going? I want you to win it. I want Moyes to stay. I want him to get a statue.
All right, so
basically, no one thinks you're going to win it.
Errol, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question, Lawless? If Larnaca knock you out, does that mean you're no longer on this channel? Does that mean you go?
You'll be on the channel, just not on this show. You won't make it on this show. You'll be on the Fight for Relegation show.
I'm going to miss this.
Listen, right?
Tobes ain't going to miss it.
Do you want to bet £100? Do you want to bet £100, Dan, that we'll beat Larnaca? Do you want to bet £100? Yeah,
I'm married, mate. I'm married. I get no money to myself.
Yeah. Ask your wife. Ask your wife.
I get no money to myself.
Ask your wife. Yeah, hi, Mrs.
My wife has budgeted videos, mate. I don't get any.
Hey, don't forget, he's my stepson. I haven't given him no pocket money this year.
Hey, Uncle Errol, give him some money. Give him an advance on his pocket money.
Errol, we're going to call you daddy.
Right, last question. Then we are really going to wrap up. Does anyone, and this is an open question, last question, I promise. Does anyone on the panel not believe that last minute winner for Arsenal is going to mean anything whatsoever? Is that like Arsenal won? I thought they were going to win. Who cares? Let's move on. Or is it actually that'll do a lot for the team and fighting
My
spirit
own-
moving forward. Go on, Errol.
My only reservation is because I've been on the receiving end of results like that, where you think it's written in the stars. Just be careful what you open up your heart to.
That's fair, mate. That's fair.
And that's because I've been torn all season.
That is deep. That is deep.
It's true, bro. You know how deep football runs, though. You know when
Open
you
up
want
your
it.
heart.
Yeah, but just be careful what you open up your heart to, because that will, like, you'll look back and you will feel like those moments were sending you in a
My
certain way.
stepdaddy is waxing lyrical right now.
Do you know why? Do you know why you are talking sense though? Is because I had a great question I heard on Guna Talk, and it said, "Where does that goal stand at the Emirates?" This was not in past history in terms of the Highbury. Where does this goal stand? And all of the goals mentioned led to nothing. So Thierry Henry's last-minute goal at the Emirates against Man United was brilliant. When he come back against Leeds, brilliant, but we didn't win the FA Cup. Danny Welbeck against Leicester, brilliant, but we never won the league. Arshavin against Barcelona, brilliant, never went and won the Champions League. So what I'm hoping is that we look back in May and go, wow, that moment meant so much to us. And that is the big killer. So you're absolutely
That's when you
on
celebrate it. That's when you celebrate it, in my
100,
opinion. In the moment, enjoy it, but that's when you celebrate it if it goes on to lead
Potts
to...
went full Sean Dyche afterwards. Could you hear him? Oh, I was saying it.
Oh, my voice was gone, man. It was unbelievable.
By the way, Potts, the shame of you, the arrogance of you to put Arsenal in the thumbnail of this show after Liverpool beat Man United 7-0. You're talking about, oh, is that significant? You believe it's significant.
Blame Sam, man. Sam does the thumbnails, not me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Shameless Sam.
I want that clip.
Yeah, man. I'll
just edit my part out, yeah?
Yeah, mate. You all got it tonight, man. You all got it. Big up Sam Hart, man. Big up Sam Hart. Make sure you go follow him. He's doing great stuff for me and editing that beautiful, beautiful clip. Listen, we're going to leave it there, guys, to be fair, because we've been going way too long. Lawless, always a pleasure, mate. How can people follow you, bruv?
West Ham Fan TV at DLawless on Twitter. Come and join me to see us batter Larnaca. We're not going to lose to Larnaca on the watch along tomorrow. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. West Ham Fan TV. Come and join me for the watch along.
We're going to do it against Larnaca. I would fucking hope so.
We're going to. We believe. We believe.
But Dan seems to doubt. So all I'm going to say is it's Larnaca away. I'm excited to see the team.
I don't blame him for doubting your shit.
Listen, you want to look in the mirror, mate? You want to look in the mirror?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It takes a shit to know one. You're shits.
Okay, yeah, I know we're shit. Okay, we're shit. We are shit. Yeah,
there we go.
That.
At the Lawless,
West Ham That's going to be the next intro. That is when they get beat by Larnaca. We're
not getting. It's not happening. You can clip this. We are not getting. I'm not getting clipped. We are not losing to Larnaca. We're going to probably beat them 3-1, 3-0. We're not getting. We know it's not happening. It's not. It's not. No fucking chance.
We shall see.
No way.
You heard it here, people. Make sure you go over to at the Lawless on Twitter and Instagram, and then get over to West Ham Fan TV and watch his watch-alongs. Pete, over to you, bruv.
Yeah, as it says down there, Loaded Mag, NUFC. Come and join us for all things Newcastle United. We've got loads in the chat supporting Loaded Mag tonight. Loads of stuff going on our way to 6K. Growing steadily and nicely, but come and join us.
Nice one, bro. Errol, likewise, bro.
Big up Dan as well for representing and showing face tonight. I let him stay up.
I turn up, mate. I turn up. There's been so many people who,
and I let you stay up a couple of extra hours. On the
you got to go tuck him in and read him a bedtime story now.
My
wife would have kittens. Who the fuck's
that? That's the Twitter handle down there. You can see it. Go and follow. Obviously, you'll see me on the Redmen watch-alongs as well. See me on Grizzcar TV from time to time popping up. So, yeah, just make sure you follow all the big channels from a Liverpool perspective. Big up.
Nice one, Errol. And congrats for your weekend, man. Dan United, big up yourself, man, for coming on. Honestly, bruv, like, fair play to you, because there's a lot of United fans I know that would never, ever show their face. And I think if anyone lost on here 7-0, it would be very hard. So fair play to you, man. How can people follow you, and when's your new podcast out, bruv?
Like I said, mate, I'm married. Anytime I can get up here. No. Do you know something? I messaged Errol before, and I will say his analogy was spot on. I had there's nothing you can say to it. I really enjoyed tonight. Thanks for letting me stay up as well. Dad. I really appreciate that. At Football One, the new one is coming. I'll be honest with you. Actually, I've been working really hard on my new one. It is going to come, but I just thought to myself, there's no point in doing it halfway through a season. I want to get the pre-season in. I want to get everything built. So
and not this week.
And not this week.
Wait, that's the time.
Mate,
so Dan, what you're saying is in 7 months' time it'll be ready, yeah?
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
What, in October?
7 months.
3 months.
3 months. It will be ready. It'll be ready.
Nice one, Dan. Nice one, Dan.
77 weeks or whatever.
Tobes,
7 weeks, basically.
7 weeks, yeah. Tobes, let them know where you can find you, bro.
Tap in Tobes on all socials. Yeah. Looking to do maybe like a little lunchtime chat on ahead of the game tomorrow. And then, yeah, I'm going to probably be, unfortunately, back on my channel to speak about the game once I get back home for a late one, because I know how it's going to end. So, yeah.
Which is going to be what?
Which is going to be a loss. Or, sorry, not a loss. We'll be knocked out. I think we'll probably draw it or win it like 2-1 or something. But
Lawless is like...
You know what? He just reminded me to go and check out his Wolves review. I've been meaning to do that since the weekend, so I'm going to go check out that Wolves review now because I know it's juicy. So everyone else check that out.
I'm going to check it out because I know it's juicy.
Good impression. Good impression. Now that's spot on. That it's juicy. He's hurting inside. He's hurting. That's how you know he's hurting inside. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to enjoy it.
Right. People, always a pleasure. Make sure you smash a like on this on the way out. Subscribe if you're new, people. This has been an unbelievable episode. It's probably one of the best we've had, to be fair, in my opinion. Absolute lit. The chat's been lit. My thanks to Lawless, Pete, Tobes, Dan, and of course, Errol. We'll see you next week, people. Until then, up the Arsenal. Take care, people.